Welcome to December 31st, 1941, and our continuing War in the Pacific saga. This is the last day, of course, of 1941, so after today I'll probably post a follow-up video and kind of go through what's happened in the game so far, as well as what's coming. A lot of things change every month as new airframes become available, and we'll look at our ship losses, we'll look at our aircraft losses, and what's to come down the pipe for both of those. Action starts off this turn with an anti-submarine warfare attack near Johnston Island. Find a Japanese ship there. And one of our French subs finds a task force at Truk. Unfortunately, does not hit anything. Another one of my French subs runs into, looks like the TF that just unloaded at Buin. Again, does not, unfortunately, fails to launch torpedoes due to mechanical problems. So that's why the sub doesn't work. Little sweep action over Winchao. Wincao, I think it is. And over Singapore. And over Clark Field, but I don't have planes at any of these bases. So the sweeps don't do anything. Just waste fuel. It gives his pilots a little experience, I suppose. Oh, so here he's back at Aicheng with a lot of cap, unfortunately. Last turn he didn't have this much. And I hoped my fighters could get among those bombers, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen. They're not going to be able to fight their way through, and I'm just going to lose some fighters as a result. Yep. I don't lose any fighters. I'm surprised by that. I'm sure some are damaged, though. 33 casualties. It's not too bad. Another sweep on Singapore. Another air raid. And that same hex, just northwest of Aicheng there. And again. I've said it before, but this hex is a wooded rough hex, so bombing it's tough to do any damage to troops in that good terrain. Again, north of Nanyang here, this is some better, rougher terrain, so I'm not going to take a whole lot of damage from these bombing attacks. Continuing to attack my ground forces at Quangchawan. Oh, at Pakoi. Again, not a lot of damage being done here. He has a LCU, I believe, right here in this hex, headed down into Pakoi. I'm not sure how much he's brought. I don't have good eyes on the LCU. I don't have good recon here. But it looks like, I think, 2 LCUs. Some bombing of Wincao. Bombing the city. So he's going after my industry there in Wincao. I think that's a little short-sighted. Heavy industry hits 18. I think that's short-sighted because eventually he's going to want to take Wincao, and he's going to need that heavy industry. So short-term, it is going to cost me supply to repair that heavy industry. If I want to repair the heavy industry, I may turn repair off on that and say, hey, that's not really worth it for me long-term to repair the heavy industry for him. When he's just going to come back and take it. Yeah, interesting choice. I don't know how I feel about that. Alright, some Vals flying out of Miri go after Tarakan. Don't really have anything at Tarakan, so I'm not super worried about that. I evacuated most of it early on. I think there's just a CD gun left there. The base force has already been picked up by some of my ships. Again, going after Guam, going after that runway, keeping me from building forts. It's good runway hits for him. And north of Changsha there at Changte. Again, I need some cap here as well. He's going after both this hex and this hex. I don't know if from Chungking if I'm gonna have range to that with fighters. I certainly will from this hex, but I don't know how many, what level of airfields I have here. We'll have to check. Into the PM air phase. Shaping up to be another quiet turn. Some of my bombers fly, don't really do anything. Even with a clear sky, into, I think, a clear hex. I don't lose anything, but I don't do any damage either. A little bit disappointing. There we go, just a little bit of damage. I'm a little high here as well. I could come a little bit lower and get some better results. Cataline is going again, but those zeros are just going to prevent them from hitting a task force here. Let's see exactly where that is. So that looks to be the same task force that dropped off at Buin. It's now moving north to safety. And I have an opportunity to get some submarines in between that task force and where it's going. So that'll be something I'll do this turn. Again, no damage from my planes. Some sweeps over Singapore. And we're already on to the land combat phase. So the pace of the air game, which, if you were following my AAR before, it was really, really intense the first 2.5 weeks of the war. Now, it's almost down to nothing. It's really, really low key. It's good for both of our pools. I think he was getting low on zeros. I know I was getting low on my planes. My British fighter pools were literally down to 0 planes at one point. But now I have a little time to recover. He does as well. And we'll see where he decides to bring the fight to, and I'm sure things will pick up in the air wherever that is. Amphibious assault on Green Island. So he's making some moves. There's Guam. Deliberate attack again. So that bombing, it did keep my fort levels at 0 by increasing the airfield damage. However, I think it was a mistake for him to do a deliberate attack right away after losing that deliberate attack last turn. And you can... I'm kind of wondering why the adjusted AV is so much adjusted downward for him. In any case, 7 destroyed squads for him, combat squads 3 for me, 50 disablements for him. Guam could potentially hold out for quite a while longer here, unless something changes. And Green Island here falls south of Rabaul. That's it for December 31st, 1941. Hope you enjoyed the turn, and like I said, I'll make another video for the January 1st turn because there's a lot to go over and talk about in the state of the war. Thanks for watching.